back waiting at locks for our ship buddies to come. Apparently you go through the same ship that you went through the last lot with, but they haven't even got out of theirs yet, so there'll be some time. What you missed is those electric tugs, locomotives. Effectively they come up to the end because you need one per corner, two per corner of each ship. So each one of those, each ship takes 8 of those to drag it into the lock. And on the effectively the tariff to go through the Panama Canal, effectively when it opened it was $1.09 per ton, and effectively that rate was kept up until 1974. It's been rising since then, and ever since it's been handed over to Panamanian control, effectively that is raising on a yearly basis. So effectively it's now up to $4.85 per ton, and as soon as the new extension was opened, one over there, suddenly effectively busted the largest tariff ever to go through the Panama Canal, effectively into the millions to get through, because they're massive compared to the Panamax ships of olden days. So that's what you missed. You probably won't miss much, because we got a long wait until those two ships get down in. Never mind. There it is. Don't know whether that is a crocodile or an alligator, but he's pretty big.
If you were to go over on the Korean side, so the ship on the left-hand side has the cranes on top, which mark it as a bulk carrier. Bulk items, things like grains, corn, wheat, rice, barley, sorghum, sugarcane, marble, coal, anything like that that goes in large quantities, not in containers, put into these ships known as bulk carriers. This one here has its own cranes, the gray structures that stick out above like a little tower, and then a little bridge that interconnects them. But those are the two long boom arms of each of those 4 cranes. It's got 4 cranes on it. That means it can go at any port and unload its own items. Other ships like this don't have their own cranes. They would have the gray tower bridge looking things, just those square hatches on top with the numbers. You actually read them on there in white letters, 5, 4, 3, 2, and so on. And they would depend on the cranes at the ports to unload what they carry or load them up. And on the very front of that ship, you can see quite a few men there with light sky blue shirts, white hard hats, and those are the canal workers. The ship's own workers are going to have usually orange vests on, and orange jumpsuits, but the canal workers have dark blue pants and then these either sky blue or light white shirts, and they're the only ones that are allowed to touch the lines when they're at the locks. And this is going to be then connected to the locomotives that are going to be on the 4 corners. More of those same kind of workers can be seen here on the la nave de evacuación, esa naranjada que está en la parte de atrás, y también se ve que dice el nombre de Panamá bajo el nombre del barco, lo que significa que este barco está abanderado bajo Panamá. Y Panamá posee el mayor registro de abanderamientos en el mundo, arriba de 9.000 embarcaciones.
spread caught a fish, and unfortunately, just as the guide Ian pointed out, he dropped it. Now flown off, didn't go back. But a little bit of excitement while we wait for that big blue ship. It's been about an hour now. But all good. Beautiful day. Glorious. The weather forecast for the last week has been absolutely hammering it down with rain all day long. I was bringing my waterproofs and everything, but luckily I checked the weather forecast today and it says it was going to be glorious, like it has been. So perfect day for it. You can just see in the distance the two little fellas in a rowing boat getting the line and rowing it across to the side. Probably the least technical part of the whole operation. Apparently all of these different locomotives and how the locks operate hasn't changed ever since it was opened in 1914. They always, there's third generation of the electric locomotives, but that's the approach that they've been following ever since it opened.
Regarde les portes.
This last chamber,
Il y a des grosses portes.
and somehow only 43 feet tall on the Brigand's height.
Il attaque les cabines,
They're all the same fatness. In fact,
regarde, on traverse.
almost 7 feet thick.
Regarde comment on a baissé beaucoup. Regarde l'eau, comment elle a baissé beaucoup. Regarde l'eau.
And you also know there's two sets of gates. The inner ones that are the main gates, and the guard gates that are to the outside.
Regarde le gros bateau qui est là à gauche. Là, il va nous en laisser des petites.
Those are hand-beat rivets. These gates were assembled here on site, built in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and basically brought in sections to the canal.
Regarde, tu peux voir l'autre côté, là.
La compuerta tiene casi 2 metros de ancho y varían entre 83 pies de alto y 43 pies en el lago Caribe. Aquí por las mareas extremas que tenemos, estas
Tu
son
veux
las
faire
más
les prochaines écloses, je sais pas ce que tu voulais faire. Qu'est-ce que tu voulais faire, filmer?
Just as a reminder, this is the Miraflores lock. It's the final lock, so we've dropped down and then filled up this basin, and effectively that final gate at the end then takes us back down to Pacific sea level, and then we sail out to the end and down to the causeway past my hotel, and job done. And there's some kind of little animal over there, no idea what it is. Deer, effectively. Everything's expensive in Panama, very dear. There's Paradise Island just leaving. So they've been into the second basin and have left. We're just now waiting for Vanda to come down. So effectively we'll see have been pulled along, and due to the amount of time it takes, let's switch to time lapse. Yay! Bander's in, and you can see now the water level is now dropping again. And that nice little butterfly. Now going to drop down to Pacific level. Everyone else is going home. I guess this is a 24 by 7 operation, and it's a huge revenue generator that goes straight into Panama's economy. Noise is probably a bit over the top, but those are frigate birds. Magnificent frigate birds, he called them, but I'm not sure that's their scientific name. But now we've cleared Miraflores locks. We're heading down to the final. We're at sea level, at Pacific sea level, coming towards a large container ship. No, in fact it's a bulk carrier that's coming out to go through from the Pacific to the Atlantic. You also see one on the right that's just finished transferring, and that would have come around the new dock at Cocoli. And effectively will then go underneath the Bridge of the Americas, which is, funnily enough, the lowest point, or the lowest clearance available for the ship. So effectively the size of a Panamax, that's what determines how high the ship can be. As I said, Port of Balboa, large cranes. We saw a lot of the containers coming off earlier on and going by train, so we've seen some of those containers going through and being unloaded, sent down on the train, then probably loaded up onto a you've seen the crocodile over on the left hand side, but see one already. Anyway, under the bridge, and you probably see me doing a video of, oh, there's my hotel. So bulk carrier and container ship. Quite impressive when you look at it that close.
Esa es la compuerta y la línea amarilla arriba de ella. Un barco se ve también ahí en la cámara. Ese es el canal ampliado que abrió en el año 2016. So this new canal opened in the year 2016. Built at a cost of $5.3 billion.
In case you didn't hear that, 2016 it opened, and $5.3 billion.
Lost a cell phone. Somebody left a cell phone in the bar that has a heart-shaped case, or a hard case. If you left a cell phone in the bar, please come to claim it. Hay un anuncio para un celular que se dejó en el área del bar con un logo de corazones. Por favor, para el bar a reclamar su celular. Gracias.
So that looks like one of the very, very large Maersk ships. That's the Sally Maersk, and we'll look that up later, but that's got a lot of containers on it. So not sure whether that is able to go through the canal or whether it's unloading here, and effectively, as we saw earlier on, sending all those containers by train up to Colon, loading them onto another ship. So rather than going through the canal, it's just doing a land transfer.
Los puertos aquí en ambos lados de la orilla son comerciales de diferentes empresas, diferentes países. No es una cosa
Loads of little tugboats.
directamente manejada por el canal.
Those aren't tugboats, obviously, but there's loads of little
There's ports on both sides,
Panama
private
Canal
companies from
company
different countries.
ships or little boats
Not a direct canal
effectively
operation.
manage the whole operation. Are you getting the wave off that one? Hey.
And that little boat coming on the left, the Anchoa, the small little blue-white boat with the Panama flag, is the one that retrieves the canal's right-handers. Esa pequeña lancha a la izquierda que pasó, un poco más grande con bandera panameña, es la que extrae los pasacables que se ponen en los barcos cuando salen de las cruzas o cuando se están acercando a ellas para que estén ya a bordo.
Makes that seaboard look like a bit like a paddleboard. The size of that Maersk. As I said earlier on, a lot of those small boats, effectively, now they've been replaced by the bigger ships that go through the new Panamax. Effectively, they're going down and effectively being sold as scrap, and smaller operators.
A famous landmark of Ancon Hill. Which was where the now headquarters building is located at. So it's the widest mountain there on the left behind the cranes. Has a nice big tall tower on it. There's a smaller one closer, but this is the bigger one. And it has a bald face on one side. Part of it's a rocky flank of that hill because that was a quarry when they used to get the rocks for the Pacific side rocks. Portico cranes on the left-hand side ports, you can see also the skyline of Panama City, which has grown exponentially since 1973. La flor de barco está en Cerrancón, que ondeó una bandera panameña bastante grande. It's a steel arch bridge, and the Pan American Highway goes over it. El Puente de las Américas se ve aquí al frente, construido en 1962, tuvo un costo de $20 millones, y la carretera panamericana pasa por encima de él. Fue inaugurado el 12 de octubre de 1962, el Día de Colón. Muchos países quieren eliminar el Día de Colón porque marca el fin de la cultura indígena de las Américas, así que es una cosa controversial, está en disputa hoy día.
Yay, there's my hotel. Effectively right over there, past that pier. Effectively where you come out onto the balcony, watch all the boats going past, and yeah, there's the Black Pearl coming up on the left hand side. I pointed out from the balcony earlier on. Second floor, 2013. Got a bit of a musky smell to it, but every air conditioned room in the tropics has. didn't walk that this morning. I don't think I'll walk it back this afternoon as well. The last of Pacific Sunset, last of that Mary Jane Elizabeth, or sorry, Methane Jane Elizabeth, Tsunami, and that's the end of our little canal, Panama Canal tour. Great half day well spent, so can't argue with that. Thank you, Panama Canal.